Hey guys, I'm D'Angelo for TravelCostaRicaNow.com, and thank you for coming along with another expat interview. If you don't know the channel, we are a Costa Rica travel agency, and we do relocation tours and help out with your decisions if you think Costa Rica might be the option for you to come down and live at. We have plenty of information on our YouTube videos about expats coming down here, seeing if it's for them. A lot of times it's not. So today we are interviewing Brent today. You guys met Brent before. Thank you, Brent, for coming along.
Yeah, fun to be here. Very nice to see you back in the chair, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Michael's talked with Brent before in a couple of videos and talked about his move down here, his life down here. Yep. Talked about a little bit into real estate at the time and helping out the community with during COVID.
Yeah, during COVID. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I came down here just 4 months before COVID.
4 months
before.
So
I saw it, I was down here in October of 2019, and then 4 months later, remember March 2020?
Everything shut down, yes.
Everything. Nothing but banks and, pharmacies and, a few things. Grocery stores were open. It was a ghost town.
It was definitely a ghost town, and that was your first experience.
Very soon very shortly after I got here, yeah. So that kind of anchored me here in a way. I wasn't sure on where in Costa Rica I wanted to stay. I knew I wanted to stay down here, but I wasn't sure exactly where. So I was here in La Fortuna. Pandemic happens. The border's shut. Remember those days? You couldn't even leave if you wanted.
Yeah, could not leave.
And so, but you also weren't required to leave for those of us at that time that were, doing border runs. And so that was great. We had about a year and a half where there was no requirement to leave.
The first time the government gave us all a little leeway and passed.
and so then I just settled in. I said, okay, well, this is where I am, and I ain't going nowhere, so you better start learning Spanish, and you better start exercising, and you might as well pick off a few things that you want to do because you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. So did you jump into the community a bit?
I did, yeah. I worked out quite a bit. Like I came down here and I got my health back. I was probably 30 pounds overweight when I first came down here, and so I started walking at the local Polideportivo and eating better. Diet is actually more important for weight loss than exercise, but I did the two things.
Did your diet change because you wanted the weight loss, or it changed just because of the environment of Costa Rica and the
both. I mean, the thing is here, the grocery stores don't have the same kind of junky food that we have back home.
We have a lot more back home.
Oh,
back home and your back home.
Yeah.
Brent's from Canada.
I'm from Canada, but it's kind of the same. Although us Canadians always say we're different.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that. Okay, no, but the thing is, you go to the grocery store here and you do get lots of fruits and vegetables, and if you're conscious of that and, you stick to your, eggs and some chicken and meat, and I do prepare my own meals mostly. Because it costs a lot to go out here, especially in a tourist town.
Especially in this tourist town, yes. When I travel other parts of the country and we hit up little sodas along the way, and it's much
way cheaper. Yeah. I like going to sodas here, and I have my 2 or 3 favorite ones, Soda de Hormigas, and there's a couple other ones here I like to go to. So yeah, I got my health in order, and I started taking Spanish classes right away because I really felt that was a critical thing. I was really diligent at the start. I had my book, and I was writing out verb forms and present, future, past tense.
Nice. I think a lot of foreigners don't do that.
Well, I said, I'm not going to make it here if I don't. And then I had an actual human being teacher. And so we would do lessons just once, sometimes twice a week for an hour, sit and just try and talk. But even now, I would say my Spanish, even though I've been here 6 years, it's still only 45%. But that's better.
Oh, you've caught up to me then.
Well, yeah.
Mine is not that great.
It's a challenge, but it's also great for an older brain.
Yeah.
As we get older, it's important to keep your brain active. And I found that Spanish classes and trying to listen to people and sometimes listen to sports or TV or news.
Yeah.
Is really a great way to try and keep the brain cells moving.
And they do say that is one of the better things for an active brain is to learn a second language.
Absolutely, yeah. Put yourself in some sort of little bit of stressful situation, and people definitely do that when they come down here. I found that, it's an adjustment to come to Costa Rica. It's not that simple.
It's not. Have you Have you found it difficult though, not knowing being super fluent in the language?
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, the difficulties here, I think, are a lot of it's related to a person's sense of control of a situation. So when you come down here, you don't really know the language, you don't really know the cultural norms, and there are normal differences. People show up late all the time. People from Canada and the US can get frustrated as hell. If you come down here and you expect things efficient, it's not going to be so efficient. Yeah. People are very laissez-faire about even things like if you invite them to your house for dinner or something, they're not going to show up on time, mostly, unless they've been really trained. And things don't function as well, like mechanical things. Roads are not very good, like as you know. Yeah. They're getting better, but roads here are not nice and wide and safe. They're often narrow and have kids and dogs and
people in the roads, animals in the roads.
So, you know, even driving around can be a frustration here. And so I found that you have to almost like it's a meditation, this country, in trying to be patient and not reactive and accepting of the way things are and letting go of control. Does this sound familiar? Like all you Buddhists out there? This is definitely Buddhist kind of stuff, which is like, okay, get a grip, buckwheat. And I'm guilty because I have been reactive and still sometimes reactive around things.
This is a very much learning patience. And
absolutely. And if you don't, you wash out. Because how many people do you know, and do I know, that have come down here for a year or two, and then they're gone.
More than 50%, more than 70% get washed out.
By a year, 2 years, maybe 3, if you can't not adjust. And I always felt that I needed to develop a community here with expats, some expats. I don't think people are realistic if they think they're just going to integrate into Costa Rica culture and have no expat friends. You can't really do that. Yeah. Like, that's a pipe dream, maybe. Okay, it's okay, smoke a pipe. But the truth is, you're going to need some expat friends, and you want to make some Costa Rica friends, in my view. And so the key to that is language. And so, you know, some people do have really close Costa Rica friends, but it's often the case that those Costa Ricans are speaking English very well.
Right, and that's a big hindrance to your ability to learn Spanish.
It is.
Because it just flows into English after that, and you never change over to try to learn Spanish or practice it.
That's absolutely true. And it takes a little bit of attention and work, you know?
Yeah, that's what happened to myself. I got Tico friends that spoke English at the beginning and just flew into English all the time.
Yeah, so it's a meditation, this place. It's a, you know, but then, you know, sometimes you see the beauty of this place and you realize where you're at. I try and think philosophically about it sometimes, you know, in Calgary. I'm from Calgary, which the temperature is probably -10 today or more. And
thank you.
6 inches of snow, or whatever that is in centimeters. I'm old enough that I still think in inches. But, you know, do I want that kind of lifestyle?
No.
Where you're sitting in a heated apartment, going to a heated store in a heated car.
Bundled in clothing and
I don't want that. I'm willing to put
layers.
up. Yeah.
No thanks. Yeah.
It's a trade-off. You're willing to tolerate the situation here, the way it is, that's not so efficient. And nice to experience the great niceness that is the country that keeps people here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this weather is just breathtaking. This is beautiful weather like all year long. We don't have the winter colds, the snows, we don't have heavy winds, not in this part of Costa Rica.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And you've traveled other parts of Costa Rica. You looked at Atenas before at La Fortuna, and
yes.
You just fell into La Fortuna because that's where you got stuck in COVID, or?
You know, well, in a way, it was just that I got stuck here. Yeah. I had arrived, and you know, like I said, very shortly after the pandemic hit, and I was here. So I said, "This is my place." It's not the best climate, in my view. I think it would be fair to say that the Central Valley of Costa Rica, from Cartago through San Jose out to maybe Grecia, or that area, the Central Valley, is also the most populated area of the country. It's a little bit higher up. The temperature's nicer. It doesn't get so hot. Sometimes it can get pretty hot here.
Not as much rain.
And it's not as much rain. So, but you can't have everything in life. So this is kind of where I started to develop a sense of community and connection. So I just stuck around. Yeah.
You see yourself sticking around longer in this area?
I have no intention of leaving or going back to Canada. That's not even a thought in my brain. It really isn't.
No. Well, mine either. I don't ever. I did when I first moved here. I gave myself 5 years here.
Yeah.
And that 5 years came and went in the blink of an eye, and now I'm here.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. The time passed so fast for me. 6 years. I can't believe it.
Yeah. It does go quick.
It's crazy.
So let's see. Talking about living here, then, how's housing here? You don't plan to. You don't own anything yet.
I don't. I just rent. I just rent.
You just rent. Okay. And you want to stay with the renting. You don't want to.
Yeah. I think my choice when I first came down here was just rent, because I don't know how permanent I'm going to be here, or either in this part of Costa Rica or like specifically here in other parts. So renting was convenient. It's not too expensive. And you have no deep-rooted commitment. I do some real estate down here, and I know that real estate often does not sell quickly. And so for those people that have properties that they want to sell them, they will often wait a year or two. And so I didn't want to have my money tied up in a property when I'm just a single person. Oh, yeah. Don't touch the mic. So that was kind of my thinking as a single person coming down here. And you want to have this flexibility as a single person, without dogs and cats and kids and wives and.
Yeah. So, how is that life as a single person down here then?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. I mean, relationships down here. I think every guy who's coming down here from wherever, there's all this idea you're going to establish a great relationship with a beautiful Costa Rican woman and live happily ever after. And I can see it in guys when they come down here, and I know, and lots of guys who have come down here, they fall in love, then they get married, then of course within a year they get divorced. I'm thinking of our one friend, and he spent 3 years in a divorce court.
Oh man, that's a story goes around and around. Yes, I hear it a lot.
That's really kind of heartbreaking, and that it's like a cliche, but it happens here all the time. Some of these marriages create children.
And they're kind of stuck now.
Yeah, and our buddy whose name starts with H, he's got a kid, a nice kid, and he's still here, and everything's.
That's a great way to get residency, I guess, if you want to stay.
It actually is. It actually is. If you marry a Tika, you can get residency quicker than other ways.
Marrying or a kid. The kid, my friends and I, it's an anchor baby. Then you have a baby here. That's your foot in the door.
Absolutely. But it's a bit challenging here having romantic relationships here, I would say. I have had a couple of relationships here. One that lasted about actually 3 years, and another one that was probably 9 months or so. And that was really great relationships, I would say, with a lovely woman who was very local, a Costa Rican that had never been out of the country. Most Costa Ricans haven't, by the way.
A lot of them haven't even been out of their own little towns.
Yeah, so you get a lot of kind of local, kind of
down to earth.
Yeah, they're not sophisticated, and that's no fault of their own. It's just the way it is. And so if and she's a sweet woman, but the language became an issue. It's very hard to have a really
in-depth
conversation with somebody if you can't speak the language properly either way. Yeah. I've got very efficient at using the translators that we have, and that helps a lot. And the cultural
It doesn't help your learning, but it helps communicating.
That's true. That's true. And so, that one, and then the second one, both of them kind of ended badly in the sense that both of them, resulted in some money being disappeared from my little hiding place.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's really heartbreaking.
A lot of, I don't want to say they look at foreigners as money bags, but they kind of do. They kind of think every foreigner's rich, and even like the poorest of us foreigners, they still think we're rich.
Absolutely. That is a common complaint here for expat guys especially. come down here and you're seen as an ATM. If you get involved with a woman, they always have kids, almost always.
Yes.
And so that means you're paying for birthdays, and you're paying for a bicycle, and you're paying for somebody's eyeglasses, and
you're thrown into an instant family.
Instant family, and you got all the responsibilities and maybe not so much of the reward part. So that can really be a stressor. People's expectations, I think women's expectations, Chica's expectations of their white gringo partners is that they're going to pay for everything all the time.
Even when it comes to the mother-in-law, the extended
The
family is going to need help every
family.
once in a while. Yeah.
So that becomes not a really nice thing to deal with here, and but also in the same breath, that's just my experience. Mm-hmm. I do know several guys who come down here and met chicas and have wonderful relationships that seem to work very well for them.
Nice. Well, that's good.
It does
not happen often, but
it's a challenge with the cross-cultural language thing, but there's a few. Yeah, and so you want to feel. I think people that come down here are looking for a different kind of lifestyle, and everybody wants connection of some form. Everybody wants love, whatever that is. Which for me, I think of it as a sense of community, connection with different groups that I'm involved with. I have a kind of a professional group, my walking group, my pickleball group. And then, of course, we all have our online groups, which are not real groups, but they're kind of groups.
Yeah, it's not a great human connection on the online, which the world seems to be trying to get to that online connection, and it's not going to happen.
It's not worth it. You have to do it in person. Yeah. I don't care, in sales, that's what my background is in real estate sales. You can't do it. You have to do it in person. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like way better.
Do you find the dating life here in person is easy to do?
Well,
places to meet up or to find?
I think there's two ways for a guy to meet a girl, so to speak. I'm sorry, I'm always speaking in heterosexual terms, but the dating apps, of course, which there's Latin American Cupid, which is a good way. Actually, one of my good buddies here, he's a Canadian, Sault Ste. Marie. He lives up on the outskirts of San Jose. He came down here a couple years ago, met a girl online. She's actually a lawyer, and they got a fantastic relationship. And they go back and forth to Canada on little trips, and he loves it down here. Nice. And so that's an example of one that really worked, and it came right out of a dating app.
Oh, nice.
And Tinder also, but I think Tinder tends to be more like prostitution.
Oh, Tinder.
It's not really a place for if you're looking for something a little bit longer term.
Yeah.
I don't think.
More of just a sex app.
Yeah.
I believe Bumble is pretty big here as well.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there's one more. I don't. Badu or something. I don't use them. I don't know what they are, but I know there's a couple.
I have heard a couple of them. So that's that way, or you can hang out in bars.
Yeah.
Which is probably not a great way.
Gonna hurt your wallet more than anything. The bars here are not cheap.
Yeah, and it's a little bit challenging to meet somebody of quality or somebody that you want to hang out if you're meeting them in a bar.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but it's not my preferred way to meet people. Friends of friends is always the best.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit challenging, and it can be. You can get a little. I think sometimes people can feel a little bit isolated down here if you don't have those connections. I have felt that at times.
You feel like there's I hear it a lot of a white privilege because we're foreigners that they just see you and it's kind of you get a lot more people interested or flock to you or try to date you just because of the whole foreign aspect that. Well, I guess because they might think you're rich or something, I guess would fall into that.
Yeah, I think it's true that I would attract women that are looking for money.
Yeah.
But that's probably true. But I'm not good looking enough that they would actually want to see me immediately as somebody they want to date with. No. So I have a really hard sales job.
Yeah. Oh no.
So it's not all that easy,
Oh, do you find a lot of foreigners here or locals here speak enough English to meet them, or most of the girls you're meeting or finding out there are mostly Spanish speaking?
Yeah, I mean, if a woman speaks English, that's a huge plus. And I do have one friend that comes and visits me, and she speaks very good English, and that's a very nice thing. Actually, a couple that, but also I do like to practice my Spanish quite a bit. So, you know, it is a kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
Here, if you're here by yourself, as I am, and many people come down here solo. It's actually pretty common.
Guys and girls. Lots of solo guys and girls.
Both ways. So,
yeah.
you know, people want to connect, and it's not all that easy. You know, even if we have a perfectly English-speaking couple, and they're from the same cultural background and all the rest of it, those relationships break up very commonly. Yeah. So imagine you throw in a culture language issues into the mix, and it's like, that's why you got to protect yourself a little bit here, I think, from really falling in love with a tika and marrying or whatever, unless your intent is immigration status or something like that. And that's, you know, you're just asking for a lot of problems, if you ask me.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any advantages or disadvantages to dating a local person here?
Well, I mean, I guess the advantage is that they do, the extended family thing is a kind of catch-22. Like my other relationships did have extended family, and I know all those guys now, and the kids, and I see them around the community. And so, and some of them have helped me with a couple little things that I needed done, right? And that's through my connections with that person. And so, you know, that's an advantage of that whole, you know, having a kind of family situation that you can move into. And you know, everybody kind of wants that in a certain degree, as long as you're kind of respected and appreciated. You know what I mean? The problem is the expectations are sometimes really high, and then you don't fulfill that expectation, and you say, no, I can't pay for that. And then all of a sudden things go south. You're like, well, what is this? Is this just a strictly transactional relationship? I think there's transactional.
Well, that's big here. That's a whole different subject of relationships down here, is the whole transaction of it all, as far as like prostitution, because prostitution is legal here. It's not promoted, it's not advertised, but it is legal here. Yeah. I get that question a lot as far as here in La Fortuna, we don't have a lot of prostitutes, but San Jose has a lot, Jaco has a lot. I get a lot of questions on travelers here going to the massage parlors. A lot of people think the massage parlors here are like the massage parlors in Cambodia or Thailand, where you're going to end up getting a happy ending. And you've been to massage parlors around Fortuna. That's not quite the thing.
That's not the thing.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know of even one, but I don't try and hunt it out. Most of the ones are here, proper therapeutic massage, Swiss massage, whatever. Put the hot rocks on you or whatever it is. So
every third guy that I look for massage is asking, do they
really
do endings? And I'm like, no, they don't.
Not really here.
Yeah. It's not big. Possibly in San Jose or Jaco, I would see that being the only two areas. But the rest of the country is they're pretty religious, pretty honest on the up and up.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think that's true. Costa Rica is known as a sex tourist destination in San Jose, Jaco, Tamarindo in particular, and guys come down here for a few days or a week or so. I sleep with a couple women a day if they can manage it, and then go back. And you know, like that's to me is like you're taking risks there.
Yeah, we have bachelor parties that come down, and that's what they're looking for. They want us to help book their vacation to a place that they know they can hook up.
Absolutely, and it's like Cocoa Beach, right, or some of those places.
Yeah.
And some of these fishing tours are like that too, I've heard.
Yep.
I've never been on one, but you know.
Yeah, well, we just...
Sport fishing doesn't really mean sport fishing. It means more than sport fishing.
One of our guys that help with the bookings of our clients, Eric, he does a lot of our bachelor party stuff. And we don't get involved with it. We just realize, like, we know what's happening once he says, okay, these people need to be paid, these people need to be paid. He books it all together, and then we go and pay them, and that's when we find out what the client's doing. And so one of them in Jaco, he had a bachelor party, I think it was 9 guys, and then they even had a naked girl laid out on the table with sushi and food
Oh, really?
all over.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, okay.
Oh, my.
Anything's possible here.
Yeah, it's true.
And they do come down for it. I remember when we first moved here, tourism was big, and I guess it's big now. Still, it's even bigger now. But
Yeah.
before, it was more sex tourism back then, because you would see a lot of blonde-haired, blue-eyed mixed kids, and could always see like, okay, that was she's now a single mother, and
Right.
the father is a sex tourism that came in.
Right.
And they hooked up, and the father's gone.
Yes.
And I seen that a lot before. Not so much now, but
Yes. Yeah.
in the past, we saw that a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which is, I've just watched a documentary on Thailand, and that is a huge problem. The Philippines and in Thailand.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is a problem. And it's more available here. I mean, companionship
Yeah.
than it is in the United States or Canada, in the sense of it being legal and not costing an arm and a leg.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, sure you can find this everywhere in the United States and Canada, but it's a different deal.
Yeah, it is. It definitely
Yeah,
is.
so.
And let's see. How about your day-to-day life here? As you find it, how different is it from back home in Calgary?
Yeah, my routine here is pretty much I walk every morning, yeah, and then I'm also playing pickleball pretty frequently nowadays, once or twice a week, at least once a week, and those are good recreations. And then my Spanish classes, and then I do a little bit of real estate consulting work. So, yeah.
You're staying pretty active then.
Yeah, I'm pretty active. Like, you know, that's one of the problems with being retired, is you can lose a sense of meaning and identity. When you come down here and you are not doing the same thing as you did before, it doesn't matter who you were back in Canada. Here it doesn't matter. You're just here. And so, but people, I think, carry naturally whatever their issues were from Canada, the United States, to here.
And yeah, that's
you can't like totally get rid of that stuff. But I think the country sort of changes you slowly in time, because you have to adapt to Costa Rica. You know, you don't change to Costa Rica, it changes you. You know, that whole thing. And, you know, so I think, yeah, I would say that one of the deep things that happens is your identity gets a little bit dissolved, in the sense that, well, all the things that I had back in Canada, you know, a son of a rancher and knows about cows, and worked in construction, was a realtor, was a school teacher, and, you know, all those identities that I had in my friend network back home, that's gone. That's gone.
Restarted.
That's a little twirling memory in my brain, and it doesn't matter here. It's irrelevant. And so that's where, if you have a really strong identity and your sense of being really tied to that, you can have difficulties here, because that will get pushed down into like a new thing.
Yeah, you definitely can't bring that with you, and all the baggage and everything else you've had back there.
Yeah.
My career back home was into the medical field, and I had to drop all that and come here and try a whole new lifestyle. And
well, that was not easy for you.
That was not easy. I really wanted to continue the medical field. It was great pay. I couldn't continue it here, and didn't try either. Yeah. It would have been a major task for me at the time, would have been to try to continue that here. Yes. With the language barrier and everything, since I knew zero at the time.
Well, that's it. The adjustments here, when you have the time, especially if you're in a retirement situation like I am, is, you know, you do have time on your hands, so you do have to kind of redefine yourself, or even challenge what that identity is. And it's very common, I think, it's very common here for people to come down here, retire, and become raging alcoholics.
Yes.
Would you say that that's true?
That I see a lot, absolutely.
So I'm not saying what percentage, but
it's a big percent. So my question was going to be like in boredom. That I think that's what happens with the alcoholism. Is you just become bored and you just hang out. Okay, well, I got nothing to do. Let's go have a drink.
That's it.
That just goes.
That becomes a habitual thing.
Yep.
And then you can develop some bad habits here. And I'm not against drinking. I love beer, but you know, it can get out of control, right?
Yeah.
And I know a few people here, you know, the same people, and they're like in the gutter now. They're like, you know, homeless Americans here in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Close to homeless.
Close to homeless, but always drunk.
Always. And really bad situation when you see that and you realize what's going on with these people. Obviously, they weren't successful back home very much, and they came here as a really strong desire to escape, but they couldn't escape it.
Yeah.
And so those demons came up again, and then they become drunk. Problems. And boredom is the thing. You have to deal with boredom.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Boredom. I'm going to get the spider out the way. You know, boredom is a huge factor of why 70% of people go back.
Yes, I think so. I think so. If you don't establish friendship. On to still talking about drugs. I hope we don't get demonetized, but you know, the thing is, I came down here and I was pretty, you know, straight-laced and not, you know, but I have had about 4 not marijuana trips, I was going to say a mushroom psilocybin trips here, which, you know, for me, were really pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Have you done mushrooms before?
I've done mushrooms here, yes. They grow in the fields here, so yeah.
You can literally walk out in the cow patties and pick them out of the... But I bought them from a source here, and I've done a kind of clinical-like situation where I actually wrote down my intention, got my setting pretty good, did it in my own house, put on some nice music, you know, covered the glass, the eyes, and slept. And, you know, it does rewire your brain. I really think there's something there.
There's definitely scientific data that it does rewire your brain. It helps connect it more. All the synapses, the little brain connectors are all growing more.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that's part of the whole thing about being here, too, is you can do a few things that you probably would never do back in Canada, in my case.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's also part of... you know, like it challenging that whole thing about control and identity and all those things. The drugs kind of do the same thing. You're not in control. Your identity is kind of fake, and it's all made up in your head. And so you have to figure that out here. And so, I mean, psilocybin is not something I want to do every day. Not for me. Although people do microdose.
I microdosed for a long time on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you weren't getting high though every day.
No.
You were right at that
a nice little tinge into the mental state, but it was we just they were growing here. So what I did, I asked one of the homeless man to go grab me some mushrooms, and he came back with a shoebox full of like 300 mushrooms. I'm like, well, that's way more than I wanted, but I'll take it. And then I just dehydrated them and put them in the freezer, and then I'm like, well, what am I gonna do with all this? I'm like, okay, well, we'll just microdose, and so
that's very effective. You know, I haven't really done that here. I tend to. I wanted to have an experience. I may consider doing that. Although I feel really good after having done the trips that I have.
A lot of clarity.
A lot of clarity and dissolving of the shit that I was worried about before.
Yeah.
You know, the little dumb stressors that come up. That's like you kind of get a mellow out. I don't care about stuff. It's not that I don't care because it's not important, but it's I don't care because I have no control over it.
Yeah, and I don't need to worry about it anymore.
Let it go. Yeah. And if you get that freedom from those things, man, whatever people have in terms of depression, PTSD, chronic stress, they all can go down. And what a wonderful thing. And then you're in an environment like this.
Yeah, it would help. I would recommend it, but take intent like he did, or microdose. Don't just take a bunch, because you take a bunch, it can definitely affect you in a whole different way that you're not going to like.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I do have a friend that has taken it with me, and he is colorblind. Oh. And when he takes mushrooms, he ends up seeing more color.
Really? Wow.
So he liked it. He was like, he could start seeing color, and he'd be like, "Is that what you see when you see red?" I'm like, "Well, I believe so. Like, I see red. I don't know how."
Well, how do you describe red?
Yeah.
This is like, how do you describe any color?
Right.
It's kind of like this, maybe.
Yeah. There's different shades of reds. So. Yeah.
You know what? The other thing is, I've heard. I never experienced it, but sometimes people's senses get crossed. So like, you might see red, but you hear red. Or you smell red.
Yeah.
Or like, like what the hell is that?
It does. That's crossed in a good way.
Yeah, a good thing it's a short trip and it's very safe.
Yeah.
But don't do it if you're schizophrenic or you got some other weird thing.
Yeah, you'll panic. Don't panic.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of drugs, is drugs a thing here in Costa Rica? Do you see a lot of drugs around here?
It's not really my thing, and I don't seek it out.
No.
I really don't. There's certainly people smoke pot here quite a bit, and that's available. And you can buy right in the Central Park in La Fortuna.
I hear a lot of parents are saying, I want to get my kid out of here. I want to send him to Costa Rica to get away from their habit. You think that's a good, wise decision, or do you think those kids are just going to find what they do and they'll be here?
Well, that's a tough one. If the kid's habit is like heroin or, what's the other one, the fentanyl? I don't know. Is there heroin and fentanyl here? I don't know.
I think there is fentanyl. I haven't heard of heroin.
Yeah.
But there is crack.
Is there?
There
okay.
is.
I don't know about these things.
What is that other? I can't think of that. It's another white powder. Not Coke, but
Flour.
I can't think of the name. I had a guest here, and he had a girl from Hako, and then she was addicted to it. And it is, what is the name of that drug?
Let's start with K.
Ketamine. Yeah, it was ketamine.
Ketamine.
So yeah, ketamine was big. Is not big here, but it is available. Like, so she was addicted to ketamine, and so he was trying to help her recover from the ketamine, but she was an addict, and she did not want to recover. She just was trying to gravitate to him because he was a gringo paying for her lifestyle and paying for her to try and recover, but was basically taking her on like for her a vacation.
Wow.
And so yeah, she had no desire to recover.
Did she pass?
No, she's still alive. She's still in. They split because he's like, she's not gonna. She doesn't want the help.
Yeah.
And I can't help her anymore. I'm just wasting money on her. And so he sent her back off on her way, and she went back to Hako, where she's a lady of the night in Hako. But
that's sad.
she's stuck on ketamine, which isn't good because when you're addicted to ketamine affects your bladder, and then you can have no control of your bladder.
Ooh.
And it's just a whole lot more that doesn't work for her profession. So I'm not sure why she's addicted to it.
I don't want to think about that too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is around, but I've seen the drugs are I don't think heroin or anything like that. Opioids, regular.
I haven't seen.
counters.
I haven't seen that. Like I always associate it with guys who are like really drunk, homeless, guys on the street. Mm-hmm. There's a few of those guys around, but not a lot.
Not a lot.
There really aren't that many right here in La Fortuna.
Yeah.
And then I see the guy the next day, and he's loading boxes in the back of a truck. So he's obviously got a connection, and he works.
Yeah,
probably,
we have few street homeless people, and I don't even think they're homeless. I think they have a home. They just wander the streets most of their time.
Yeah.
And like you said, they go from helping out. There's one that just goes and collects trash and recycling stuff all over the neighborhood, all over the town.
Okay.
I stopped and asked him once if he gets paid for it, and he said no, because I had a car full of cans I was going to give him if he was getting paid for it.
Yeah.
He said no. I'm like, oh, okay, well, he's
doing it out of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah, well, he's been here in the community forever, and the community's like
I think
his
I know
background.
that guy.
Yeah.
Is he kind of like bold?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I think I know that guy. Really?
So I was shocked that they didn't pay them, but yet that they were still doing it, that's awesome. That's great. Yeah. We don't have many homeless here. Nor I was going to ask about, do you see a lot of Venezuelans or migrators?
I have seen a couple. There was a guy and his two kids in front of Roseville a few months ago, and it kind of broke my heart. And I've heard that they're passing through, but I personally don't see them much.
No, yeah. I think we did, maybe a year ago, we had a lot more.
Yeah.
Now with the whole political stuff with Trump and the borders, and it's not as, I don't see many, hardly any anymore.
Yeah.
I think, like you said. Did we talk about cost of living down here, as far as like your the rent and groceries? Is it comparable to Canada, Calgary?
I have a 2-bedroom house that's fully equipped with microwave and appliances and utensils and plates. It was an Airbnb. Beds, bed sheets, pillows.
It came with all of that.
Towels, the whole schmo. $600 US a month. That's about 850 Canadian, maybe 900, and that's way cheaper than Calgary.
Is it? Wow.
Way cheaper by about almost half, but call it maybe 40% cheaper. And so, but Calgary's kind of expensive, and that's just a rental. You know, I find food is not too expensive here. Tend to eat, you know, fruits and vegetables and a few meats and things. Yeah.
Anything back home that you miss that you can't find here?
Well, I don't drive a car. I have a motorcycle, okay. And then that's why my arm is all... Because I eventually, it was a wager. When I bought a motorcycle, I said, okay, Brent, you're going to have an accident someday. Took 2 years, but finally I laid her down and hit my shoulder, broke my clavicle and 3 ribs.
Ouch.
So that was real fun.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't drive here as such in a car, but I have used my motorcycle for a couple years.
Okay.
And so I do kind of miss having a car, but, you know, that's just part of the trade-off here.
Just to get around La Fortuna, or to go see other locations?
I don't really do far trips on my motorcycle. I think there's buses, these interbuses, and the other short little smaller minivan.
The shared shuttles?
Shared shuttles are a really valuable way to travel. If you need to go a longer distance, like up to San Jose or something like that, you know.
Oh, they're very convenient.
They are.
And they're not too expensive.
Yeah.
How about your... Canadian dollar? Do you find that
it's not doing very well? It's not doing very well. It's about 75 or 78% of the U.S. And the U.S. dollar recently has been going down, 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 down. So that means that compared to other currencies like the Costa Rican colones, and so the cost of living here is going up slowly. It's a slow burn though, and you can't identify it with your eyes because the price doesn't change, but the value of what you're paying more in effect in colones, like say 1,000 colone bill will cost you more US because of the US dollar is going down, right?
Yeah, which in turn costs you a whole lot more in Canadian.
A whole lot more in Canadian. So it's, that's one thing, no control. What can I do about it except for, you know, that's about it. Not spend so much.
Not spend so much. Okay, how about, so banking? Talking about money, how about banking? So do you have bank accounts here in Costa Rica?
Yeah, I don't have a bank account here. Now, we were chatting about that before the interview. Basically, I use my Canadian bank account. I have a credit card and a debit card, and I also use PayPal. And about a year ago, maybe less, I discovered this thing called Bitcoin Jungle.
Yeah, you were telling about that.
Yeah, so Bitcoin Jungle is a local Costa Rican application that you can download onto your phone, and if you are a Bitcoiner, you can put a little Bitcoin into that application by just doing a send function from wherever your account is. Mine happens to be in Kraken or Coinbase or wherever your account is. So you can populate the app with a little bit of Bitcoin, and then when you go to buy something at a store, the Costa Rica system is called SinPay. And so it's a system developed and used by banks to transfer funds within the country, but also vendors around the country all over. They all use it, and they can receive Bitcoin payments. So what I do is I walk into the grocery store and buy a 6-pack of beer, and then I pay them with this application. It's actually taking a little bit of Bitcoin out of my account and then converting it into colones and paying them in SinPay. So the vendor is happy. I'm pretty happy because of the convenience.
Yeah.
I get a real functional use out of my Bitcoin, which has been a complaint about Bitcoin. You can never use it. Oh yeah? How about try this? I actually use the darn thing daily because I like to kind of preserve my cash. I have my little cash stashes in my house, which is probably dangerous. But anyway, I like to, I'm just feel a little bit more comfortable knowing I have a little bit of cash available. And so I tend to use this Bitcoin Jungle application to make payments for everything.
So SinPay is kind of like a Cash App or a Zelle or a way to mobile pay with cash. So I can pay. Well, I can't because it's only for locals. Foreigners cannot get SimpPay. So for a local, I could pay another local with their phone number.
Yes.
And it's just quickly, what's your phone number? Okay, here's your payment. Boom.
Yes.
And it goes to their account.
Yeah.
And it's not offered to foreigners. So it is more difficult if you're coming down here and you don't have residency to be able to use SimpPay. And like we said, they use it everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
We just ordered a pool filter, and that company is in Orentina, which is like 3 hours away from here. And so they're like, just SimpPay us the money. And I'm like, oh, okay. I have SimpPay now, but I'm like, I don't have my account's dead. I don't have nothing in the account. Let me try to transfer money over to that.
Right.
And just this week I had to pay my lawyer, and he's like, yeah, just SimpPay maybe the money. And I'm like, everybody runs off with SimpPay here.
Yes, it's true.
And so a lot of people, when I go, they're asking, hey, can you just SimpPay me the money? I'm like, before I was like, I don't have SimpPay. And they're like, what do you mean you don't have SimpPay? Like, it's unheard of. Everybody has SimpPay.
It's true. Absolutely.
Yeah, but now I have SimpPay. Not the Bitcoin jungle, but that's a good option. That's a very.
It is a good option. You know, even if somebody's not really a Bitcoiner, they could probably go to, say, a Kraken or Coinbase account, say, buy $500 in Bitcoin, send it to their wallet here, and then they'd have that cash available to SimpPay.
Yeah.
As a possibility, because we were talking about really funky payment systems where you would use your PayPal account to pay into another account, which you then would take cash out of off your credit card that's in your American bank, and then go to the bank.
Banking is a struggle.
Oh my God!
I did that this week. Yes, it was my Arizona account. I had my money in my Arizona account, but I don't have my debit card because my debit card expired, and I can't get it mailed here.
Yeah.
And so it's sitting at my parents' house, and I was able to have my father take photos of the card, send it to me, and then I was able to activate the card.
Yeah.
So I could use the card on my phone and just pay with a tap.
Yeah.
But I can't get cash out. So in order to get the cash out, I had to send it from my Arizona account to my PayPal account.
Yeah.
And then in my PayPal account, I have debit cards, and so I was able to take out cash with my debit card. And my phone app for my banking was it's quite difficult. The bank makes it difficult to pay, and so I had to pay another lawyer this week, and he gave me his account information. I put it in, or I have to put it into the bank app. I have to add him as a favorite into the bank app, into my account as a favorite client before I can pay him. And I'm like, I just want to pay him once. I'm never going to pay him again. I just want to pay him and be done with it. No, you've got to register him in there and add him into your account, and then go in and then pay him. So then you have to log in with your password. Then they send a code to your phone, and then you have to download the phone second app to the bank. So they send you a little token of another secret code, and I'm now logging in 3 times, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Which is why I went to the ATM, just grabbed the money, and went to another bank and paid it. I was like, this is wasting my time trying to figure out how to just add this person just to pay him once. And I was like, the SimpPay had no money in the SimpPay account, so I didn't pay him with that. And I was like, let me just go grab the cash, go to this other bank. Luckily, there was no line in that bank. I walked right in, and that was my day yesterday. I went and celebrated and had a beer.
Man, yeah, that'll drive you to drink. This place definitely helps you meditation. Meditate on the insanity of life.
Yeah,
of modern life.
Do you have any backups as far as your banking goes if something goes haywire since you don't have a bank here?
Not really. I mean, like I say, I have my bank accounts with a credit card, and then I always like to have some cash. I use PayPal, and the third method would be this Bitcoin jungle. So I would say I feel fairly secure with that, because I have had experiences here where all of a sudden my credit card didn't work. Actually, I kind of forgot that my credit card was going to expire. Yeah. And I was going along, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, I forgot to apply for it. But fortunately, they sent it to me, and my buddy in Canada who receives my mail said, hey, I got a card here. You want me to send it to you? I said, yeah, please, send it to me. I need it desperately. So he went to the DHL office, spent $120, and it was here in a few days.
Yeah, well, it took $120 to send it.
Oh, have you ever done DHL?
Yeah.
It's quick and efficient, but it's also freaking expensive.
Yeah, so we overnighted a letter to the States, from here to the States.
Yeah.
It got there a little over a week later, and it was over $120 to get it overnighted, but it was never overnight.
Yeah. Well, that security thing is a big thing, having your money available, for sure.
I find you have to have a backup. Like,
you have to have a backup,
in case your card goes out,
yes.
and it's terrible. So on my PayPal account, I have 2 cards.
Yeah.
So they expire at different times.
Okay.
And so when one expires, I hurry up and reorder the new one and try to get it down here. I don't normally mail stuff down here, but I have somebody bring it down.
Yeah. That's something I should consider is getting it's just a PayPal debit card.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that, and that would be handy. That would be like a fourth,
It's worth it. And they only give you one card.
Okay.
They give you the option of a second card, but it can't be in your name. So I put mine in my friend's name, and I just have the card. And Michael put his in both in his name, but he put his name in Michael in lowercase and one, and Michael in uppercase in the other, and it worked. They sent it too. And so I'm like, well, I didn't think of that. I'll do that next time.
Right on.
Or I'll put it in my dog's name, Chispa. And nobody's gonna check it.
That's right.
Nobody's gonna check that.
Chispa. Great name.
And she'll just go buy some bones at the store. That's it. She doesn't cost much.
No, I wouldn't imagine.
How about, I see you're in the sling. Let's talk about the sling. You had a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, no, I set my motorcycle down on the roadway, going slowly, no other cars, no other people involved. I just basically fell over
in the
rain on a gravelly road at night, and I broke my clavicle and 3 ribs. So I have been remarkably healthy down here until this accident, which happened in November 8th. So then I got a whirlwind tour of hospitals.
You started with the clinics here?
Yes, got x-rays here. I thought I just separated. Anyway, found the breaks, went to San Jose, went to 2 hospitals up there. One wanted $14,000 to staple my clavicles together. The second one was the big one, the Hospital Mexicano. And I spoke with an orthopedic surgeon there, and she said, don't operate. I have a good friend who's an actual medical doctor in Canada, although he's not an orthopedic guy. Sent him the x-rays. He sent it to his buddy who's an orthopod. And he looked at it and said, yeah, that's pretty severely broken, but the best choice, the preferred treatment is no operation. So I didn't operate. And the other hospital was in Casada. I did see a guy there. And that was through what's the other one across from Metropolitan? Anyway, that Gracia or something like that. Anyway, that guy wanted about $6,800 to put my clavicles. Basically, they put a plate in there and a few screws. And so it was painful. I mean, painful not just from the physical pain part, but, going through the process of learning what can be done and who's trying to rip you off. Like the Catholic hospital in San Jose said, oh yeah, we want $14,000 for it. When we drove up, if you can imagine this, they had a yard arm gate there. You had to pay to get in, and behind was the emergency entrance. Can you imagine that?
Oh my goodness.
If somebody's bleeding out, you got to stop and pay the thing before you go into.
Oh man!
So as soon as that, my rip-off sensors went way up. Then they said it was going to be about $14,000, and then also part of that was I had to stay in the hospital for 3 nights at $3,000 a night.
$3,000! Wow!
It was some.
Does it have a jacuzzi in your room?
Probably nothing. It was a pure rip-off. See Gringo come, elevate price maximally.
Wow.
See if he takes it, or if not, if he goes away, we'll just wait for the next one. So I felt like I was kind of getting ripped off. The best service was actually the public hospital, believe it or not. The private ones here, they're good too. I use the one locally here, at least the Sinar Clinic. It's not really a hospital. But you just have to be careful about where you go to.
The public one being Hospital Mexico?
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest hospital in Costa Rica, apparently, for the public system. And walking around that hospital, I'll tell you, that's an eye-opener. That's like descending into Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, I've heard the
the
stories of that.
number of people on gurneys with open wounds and just like in pain, moaning, and people with all sorts of injuries and afflictions. And you're just walking around, all you want is an x-ray.
Yeah.
And you get to see the
worse going on.
Most injured people in the whole country are there.
Not enough rooms, I guess, and so people are everywhere.
And so and they were doing construction, of course, in one part of it while So anyway, I mean, my view is that I did actually get good service from the orthopedic surgeon up there. And then my diagnosis was to not operate, so that I'm going to let the bones come together, and that was also confirmed by my good friend who's a medical doctor who talked to another orthopedic. They said don't operate.
Don't operate on it. You have to go back, get it checked up?
Well, I did go back and get another x-ray, and I that's about the only thing you can do. And the ribs, ribs just heal in time, but
they're painful.
Every breath. And then if you laugh, somebody tells you a joke, you want to punch them in the
laugh
throat.
or cough.
Coughing.
Those are deadly.
You know what's the worst though? Sneezing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's next level.
Not a broken one, but I've had a bruised one, and that was not a fun time at all. Not at all.
I know. For some reason, bugs are going after my head.
Yeah.
So that it was not a great experience, but it's also understanding the country. Like if you have money, you can pay for healthcare here. That's actually probably way cheaper than the only time I ever had to pay for anything here in terms of healthcare.
Yeah, it would have been at least tripled back home.
Well, it's a little weird in Canada because we have a free universal health care, but the difference is, it's sort of free, not really. Everybody pays high taxes. And secondly, you're on a waiting list. So you don't get immediate service, where I could have got, when I saw that doctor up here in Quesada, it was on a Tuesday. He said he does surgeries Friday. I could go in and get it done on the Friday, which is 2 or 3 days after the accident. So
and that was a private hospital?
That was a private, yeah. It's weirdly associated with the Metropolitan Clinic, which is private, but it's part of the old hospital, and the surgeons that work in the new Metropolitan are also the same surgeons
they're
from
all
the old hospital.
Yeah, they're all like right across the street from each other.
So they, depending on your, nationality, whether you do it private or public, and the fee is dependent partly on that. But you kind of accept that here. I think you just say, well, if you need it, you can pay for it, and you can get it now.
No, so. Well, that's good. I've had friends locals that have had operations and stuff, and they've been put on waiting lists for quite a long time.
Oh, really? Here? Yeah. On the public system?
Yeah.
Yes.
One friend's dad ended up passing before he could get looked at.
Oh, boy.
And then I had our gringo friend, Sue, that Michael's done videos with. She ended up in the hospital for a hip replacement twice, and she went to Hospital Mexico, and she just had horror stories of the environment.
Really? Yeah. It was pretty rough to see up there, but I did get good advice. So
I've been to Hospital Biblica. That's the one you said you paid it for the emergency room. That's crazy. I've been there. That one's nice. It's very state of the art in there. They've got a lot. It's very clean and beautiful. But I think as a foreigner, you're going to end up paying.
Yeah, for sure.
I can see that happening. Well, I think we've touched up on a lot of what we were going to.
I think so.
Talk about. I can't think of anything else. Let's see. I wrote some stuff down, but those are lovely toucans in the background. They're back there chirping away.
That is toucans, isn't it?
Yep. We get the last 2 months we've been getting macaws in here. Big giant red macaws.
Really?
Yeah.
Lapa Rojas. Really? Siempre es aquí. Right on.
We have an almond tree up here that's fruiting right now. The fruit's not ripe, but I'm hoping as soon as that fruit ripens, they'll end up coming right here to the property.
That's the one right up here on the property. Oh, right on.
Well, Brent, I want to thank you for coming along and sharing your experience with us. I'm sure this will help a lot of viewers that are wanting to know about more of the Costa Rica experience and what life is like down here and if it's right for them or not. And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, and I'm very happy to see you back in the saddle.
Yeah, thank you. It feels good to be back.
Right on. Very good.
Well, guys, I'm D'Angelo for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. TravelCostaRicaNow.com is a travel agency, guys. So if you're probably not watching this video if you want to travel, but if you're wanting to look or move down here, we will have more information about that as well on the website. We are hoping to continue on with the relocation tourism packages that Michael was doing, and we hope to continue on with helping you guys with information to see if Costa Rica is right for you, or if it's, as Mike would say, honey, we're moving to Belize. So, I hope this helps, guys. Oh, and comment down below. Fill out the comment section with any information you guys might want to give us as far as what your experience was on any of the topics we talked about, especially like banking. Banking has a lot of different ways you can do the banking down here. We do our 2 ways, and there's more ways than the 2 ways we do it, and it would be a lot helpful for a lot of people if you just put that in the comments as far as how you do your banking and how, as far as not having an account here in Costa Rica. There's a lot more options out there. And anything else you want to add into your the dating life, put that down there as well. But just leave us some comments, guys. All right, peace out. Hope it helps.